Welcome back to Marlins episode 12, and I've been in the lab, y'all. Huge offseason incoming. Let's get into it. I've got my checklist. Let's get to the formalities here. Blue Jays win the World Series. You see, we were ousted in a devastating 3-game set. If you didn't watch episode 11, what are you watching this for? You missed an amazing playoff, but I imagine a lot of you are following in order. Braves went on to lose 3-2 to the Dodgers. Cardinals beat the Mets 2-0, and then the Phillies 3-1, but then they lost to the Dodgers 4-1. Dodgers go to the World Series. Meanwhile, the Jays come out of the wild card. They go 2-0 against Texas, 3-1 against the Guardians, 4-2 against the Red Sox. Red Sox also came out of the wild card to get to the LCS, 2-0 against KC, 3-1 against the Rays, and then, of course, being felled 4-2 to the Red Sox. And then the Jays winning in a 7-game set. Awesome. Excellent. Don't care right now. Awards. I mean, I care. It's cool. But until we're into it, I'm focused on this offseason. Y'all, I put so much time into this offseason. I really hope it looks good as a whole. Like, I'm stepping back. This is kind of my first step back, and I'm going to analyze the whole thing here. So we'll see how it went. I'm open to feedback. Okay. Awards. American League awards. Jose Ramirez won the MVP. Luis Castillo for Cleveland won the Pedro. Willie Arias won Rookie of the Year, and Darwinzon Hernandez won the Mariano Rivera. National League. Actually, we'll do all American League stuff. American League Gold Gloves. Patino, Murphy got his 4th. Torkelson got his 2nd in a row. Andres Jimenez got his 1st. Matt Chapman got his 6th, 4th in a row. Nicky Lopez got his 3rd, breaking up a 3-year Correa streak. Kelnick got one. Michael Taylor got his 4th in a row in center. And Verdugo got one in right. National League. Oh, wait, sorry, Platinum Stick. Jeez. Keep wanting to get to the National League too quickly. Adley Rutschman gets his 1st, breaks up a 3-year Sal Perez run. It is 3 years in a row for Vlad Guerrero. Marcus Semien gets back on track after an off 2022. Actually, I don't know how he played. It's just he didn't win the Silver Slugger. Oh, no, he was amazing. He probably should have won it last year, too, let's be honest. Not quite like real life. Jose Ramirez was on a 3-year streak and a 3 out of 4 and a 5 out of 6. And no, actually, that would be 6 out of 8. He's on fire. Bichette wins. Michael Harris, the 2nd, I should say, a real-life Atlanta prospect, pops off and wins a Silver Slugger. Or Platinum Bat. Let's call it Platinum Stick. Let's call it what they are. I kept it that name. We got to call it what they are. Mike Trout wins his 9th, but 1st since... Oh, wait, he's been winning in different positions, maybe? Because this says, oh, that's Mookie Betts. I'm a dumbass. No, that says 5. I did read it right. That says 5 and then 9. So yeah, he got one there. Oh, so he's just moving around, getting them anywhere he can. And good for Fish Boy. Good for him. 6 there, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so it's his 9th in the outfield, not in center field. And then Julio Rodriguez gets one. Alejandro Kirk gets the DH one in the American League. Now we can do National League awards. Bryce Harper gets his 3rd MVP. I just put him in the hall already. Tyler Glasnow gets the Pedro for San Francisco. How San Francisco is this? Like, this is going to happen in real life. And not like the Rays don't do well with their pitchers or anything, but if Tyler Glasnow continues to struggle with health, he'll eventually, become a free agent, but, keep tantalizing with the time that he does play, and he'll be one of those, high-end flyers. San Francisco will swoop in Carlos Rodon style, and he'll be a god with them. Now, he was a god last year, too, so that doesn't quite fit the narrative that I'm trying to paint out here. But how not even funny. I was going to say how funny would it be. No, just how obvious would it be if San Francisco got him and he found some consistent health there. Alec Burleson, if you looked ahead, you saw that there. We got Rookie of the Year, baby. Let's go. I'm pretty happy about that. He only had a 96 WRC plus, but 25 homers, 99 ribbies, 14% strikeout rate with that kind of power is huge. Now, I don't expect a big spike in OBP because, as you can see, he's got a 30i with 35 potential. But I do think that it can go up via batting average. And so if we can get this to I'll take a 6% walk rate, just add 2 ticks to it, bump the batting average up to like 280, and then we're talking something like maybe the 330s with your OBP, and that I can live with. But we got work to do there. And then Ryan Helsley gets his second Mariano in a row, and it could be two of many. Stop going to the OSA scout. That's annoying me. National League Gold Gloves. Glass now gets his second, just his second overall, not in the National League. It doesn't do by league. Real Muto gets 3 in a row, his 4th overall. O'Neal Cruz gets 2. He's starting a streak. So is Nico Horner. He's on his 3rd. We actually got an offer for Nico Horner, and it wasn't too bad. I'm not going to go into it because I didn't do it. He's not on the team. But basically, I didn't want to just take the offensive hit to get the premium defense. I felt that we have somebody that can do that in-house. Maybe not to the same degree. I mean, look at how good this defense is, and he's got 3 Gold Gloves. But well enough that I wasn't really interested. Nolan Arenado has 12 straight. What an absolute god. He is not showing any signs of slowing down, which I love because that's pretty much how it's going in real life too. He's been amazing. Henry, stop biting your foot. Got Henry in here right now. Lindor wins his 3rd straight. Lamont Wade Jr. gets his 2nd. I like that he's become a full-time player. I really like him in real life. His body has really kind of failed him a bit here with this opportunity that he has with the Giants. He can't really seem to stay healthy, but it's cool that in our world he's found some health and some consistency as a badass. Very cool. Harrison Bader wins his 4th in a row, and it could be the 4th of like 15. He's incredible. Betts gets back on track with his 6th, but his 1st since 2020. Platinum Sticks. Kybert Ruiz gets his 2nd in a row. Casty gets his 3rd overall. Luis Garcia, the middle infielder for Washington, gets one here with a nice 2nd season in a row here. You all right, Henry? Oh, no, he was just licking the air that time. I heard the licking in my ear. I was like, is he still biting his foot? He was not. Alec Boehm gets one. Fernando Tatis gets his 4th in 5 years. Tyler O'Neill gets one. Platinum Stick for left field. Ronald Acuna Jr. gets his 4th and 2nd in a row. Bryce Harper gets his 4th and 2nd in a row. And Paul Goldschmidt gets his 5th. Probably his 1st at DH, considering how little. Yeah, they're all right there. You can see them. But his 5th overall there for Platinum Stick. And then Hall of Fame inductees. We actually got some. I don't know if it'll show by year. But can I find that? Can I find the year they were inducted? It was Ichiro and Beltray. So there you go. All right, I don't want to spoil too much, so I'm going to go in a particular order here, and I want to make sure that I'm dotting my I's. All right, we did a playoff and awards review. So let's put little stars next to these as we do them. Oh. Let's see how Miguel Bautista did with us overall. Just he got us to the playoffs. Let's kind of just take a look. I just wanted to show that he went 42 and 26. I just kind of wanted to brag on our boy Miguel because he did really, really well for us here and helmed a playoff run. So good on him. That wasn't its own separate thing. That was with the playoff review. With personnel, we do have a new scouting director, Mike Greenwell, the former player, Gator Greenwell. I really liked him as a kid. That did influence me a little into getting him, but he was like one of 2 or 3 guys with these kind of excellent ratings. So the ratings really drove it. But then the other 2 names I don't think I recognized, so I went with the guy I knew. But he looks excellent. Scouting the majors, good. Scouting the minors, outstanding. International, good. And scouting amateurs, legendary. Highly favors tools. I mean, you couldn't get more of what we want. But I don't want to sleep on the big news personnel-wise. And I guess it doesn't really count as personnel. You'll see what I mean here in a moment. But we have a new owner. Edgar Sanchez is our new owner. For those of you that have been around for my Tiger sim, the 90s resim, I did not kill Bruce Sherman, okay? Let's put that on the record. 0 murders. I had some really bad owners with the Tigers, and really the only way to get out of that is to deal with it or murder your owner. And all you do there is you turn on commission mode, you make them 100, and then they eventually die. And then you roll the dice again and see if you get a good owner. So I didn't do any of that. This just happened. And it's interesting. It comes at a decent time given the restrictions. I don't know if you guys saw it there. He's demanding and meddling, but he's also generous. So it's the push-pull there for sure. And I say it comes at the right time because we actually just came off of a good season. So it's not the end of the world. But yeah, see you, Bruce Sherman. We did get more money, and that helped fuel this offseason, which we're about to get into because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 bullet points of moves. First things first, let's see where he went because we're saying goodbye to Tanner Scott. He doesn't have a team. Wow. He was about $3.5 million ARB, I think. So cheaper than, more expensive than this. What did he make last year? Let me see if I can figure out exactly. Yeah, I think that was right. What did I say? 3 point something? I think that's what he wanted. And I was just like, he's good. But is that the right spot to spend money? I also this was at the very beginning of the offseason too. So I non-tendered him. I did not give him a contract. Which maybe we could have traded him, but I don't know why I didn't do that. I didn't think about that. I could have just done that. But anyway, he gone. So goodbye to Tanner Scott. And as far as arbitration goes, we ended up working out deals with a bunch of our guys. So I'm not going to show you all that because that'll spoil a lot of everything else that's coming up. Just know that we took care of pretty much everything else. Everyone else came back, but they did so on ideally a cheaper 1-year deal than what the ARB price was going to be. Now, first move of the offseason. This ended up being incidental because this guy was on a shop list, and it was the beginning of multiple wish list pickups. So I have a little wish list of guys, and they range from 80s, Juan Soto's on it because it's Juan Soto. Duh. Corbin Burns I think is on it. These are some of the best guys, but it's a wish list. But it has other guys on there too that are some of my favorites, including one from my very favorite team. And if you know my favorite team, you probably know who I'm talking about. But they offered up Akil Badou, and we got him. Now, it was in a trade for Tommy Edman. So, oh wait, why are you unhappy? Oh, your performance. Okay, well then just pick up your performance. Don't be crying about that over here, okay? We're a happy team, okay? Don't be crying about all that. So, here's what we did. Tommy Edman was the centerpiece. That's pretty much all you need to know there, but I'll show you the other pieces. So, when he tore his knee, coming off of the ugly season and given the contract, I knew he was gone. I was going to be moving him. And frankly, little do the Tigers know, and the other teams. I wish I should have. Oh no, I did that for a different guy. I should have written down some of the other offers that were there so I could tell you. That's the one downside of doing this all offline and then bringing it to y'all. I need to take more extensive notes. I took notes. I got my notes, but maybe more extensive notes. If you guys want to know some of that other stuff, do you care some of the other guys that were offered? I don't know if that's fun or not. If it is, I'll start taking notes on these 3 guys are also 55 plus and they were offered type of deal. But once I saw Badou, I was laser focused on that because look at all this money that Edman is set to make. And like I said, he wasn't playing well enough. So we got Badou. We also got Drew Thorpe, who is, a decent little arm at 24. Nothing that's going crazy. But I did notice when I did the giant sweep of the minors last year that we were a little light on some pitching depth just in general. Just kind of filling out the system type of deal. So that was in mind throughout the offseason. And Jack Anderson was part of that too. Again, this guy's not knocking anybody's socks off or anything. He's even 25, a little bit too old for AA, and he's already been there a little bit. But that's where he's going to be. Organizational depth was also part of this trade here. We included Ronald Hernandez. I have 8 billion catchers. This one he basically looks like Eliezer Alfonso for us, the great avoid K, but his catcher ability is only 50, and you know that's never making our squad. Plus he's fragile, so even though he's 21, best of luck to him. He gone. Dalvi Rosario also went in this deal, and he's a decent little 24-year-old outfielder. We got this, or utility fielder. We kind of got this like 10 times over though, in terms of this player type. So I wasn't really tripping on that. And you saw we included a 14th round pick as well. We more than made up for that. Don't worry about all that. So Badou making 7.6 and still under arbitration beyond this year too. Now, sorry, I keep hitting back and I wanted to just go here, but you know, it doesn't do that. Not a bad profile. I do worry about the double 45s here. That is not my favorite. And I want to say, did he lose? Did he lose any? No, he didn't. Okay. I thought he was 45-50, but I've said that before and been wrong, so I just have a shit memory. To be honest, it was Akil Badou. Did it really matter where his ratings were all that much? Strong defense too. Not a great arm, but I like the 65 range. That's going to help us out in left. So there's a lot to like here. The hitting profile is going to be volatile, and you can see the range here just within these 3 years. 85, in fact, include his 2021 as well. 107, 85, 114, 84, which means he's due for a good year, right? That's how that works. Guaranteed. No, I know that that's not at all how it works, but I'm willing to take a shot again. This is one of my favorite players. We do not need to belabor this one. I was very happy with it. Now, next deal was definitely one that I gave a lot of thought to because there were some other guys offered up that I did take notes on. In fact, 2 of them I took notes on, including some in the Discord. If you want to join us in the Discord, if you play MLB The Show as well, OOTP, we have different ones for other games too, like Madden and whatnot, but we talk real baseball, like, you know, just on the field stuff, fantasy baseball, all sorts of baseball stuff, and just standard Discord stuff. You know, we got things for everything. You want to talk some movies in there, you blah, 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 football, you got it. But if you want to be part of OOTP, our OOTP channel, you can maybe contribute sometimes and give your suggestions on what we should do in the off season, because I was pinging some things off some folks in there, and I appreciate everyone who gave answers and gave their thoughts there. It was really helpful. It was really, really helpful as we were making these moves this off season. So let's get into our second one here. And it was a little difficult to say goodbye to this guy along with the other one, because the other one, actually, this guy, Stephen Kwan, was difficult to say goodbye to because I'm a sucker for the 80 avoid K, even though there's no pop to go with it. But the guy he went with was probably more difficult to say goodbye to because I'm a big JJ Bleday fan. But I traded him. And I got to be honest, it was, again, the double 45s here. Now, with Badou having it, it's a little bit more palatable because he's got the defense. And basically it was a balancing of, like, do I want the defensive strength with the range, with some decent pop and a decent eye, or do I want to give up some of that defense for the better pop, the really strong eye, and more of the offensive aspect of it? In this instance, I went the other way. Badou kind of won out and made Kwan and JJ expendable. So I dealt both of them for a pair of arms who are now going to be our double stoppers, righty and lefty. I also included Ian Lewis here, who, again, you know, we've got this player type. Not bad, but he was included there too. But we got JP Sears, lefty from the Yankees, 60, 55, 55, 3 excellent pitches, 40 Stammy, ground ball pitcher. I mean, what's not to like? He was rough last year. That's probably the only thing not to like, is that he did not pitch all that well last year. His home run rate was up a bit at 1.9. Pretty uncharacteristic, though. He was at 0.5 in the minors. He was at 1.1 the year before in the majors. So he's got a little bit of a home run issue in the majors. Hopefully he can figure that out. But I like the strikeouts. Walk rate running a little high, too. I think based on these ratings, he should be better than this, though. And even if he's closer to the 50 that OSA thinks, still. But we're very high scouted on him, and we still got 60, 55, 55 for JP Sears. He's coming along with Michael King, who was a wish list guy. So that's 2 wish list guys now. And there are 2 more coming. And again, this was completely incidental. Because for one, I don't even know everybody who's on the wish list anymore. I did that one random night where I was like, let me just make a list of all the guys that I just love. And like, you know, if I happen upon them over the course of the franchise, that'd be cool. I like Michael King quite a bit. He's having a great year. Some of this is influenced by real life and how great he's been in real life and how fun it's been to watch him and use him in MLB The Show as well. Also coming off of a rough season, but they were starting him. We're not going to do that. He can be a swingman for us, but he's going to be in the bullpen, and I think these numbers will get better. So I'm not too worried about the performance there. He's got the 55 stamina. King and Sears are going to be great coming out of the bullpen, I believe. We also got Henry Baez, again, looking for some of that organizational depth. 22-year-old, decent enough pitcher. Next deal included yet another wish list guy. You'd think every single one does the way I'm talking, but no, I promise that's not it. This was one that I got great input from the Discord for, and I want to thank everybody again for giving their thoughts and opinions on that and saying, hey, this is who I like. Maybe you should go for this guy. And I shopped a duo here. And I was pretty impressed with the returns. I was like, okay. So, oh wait, this one might not have been a duo. Hang on, let me just get to it. So, the guy we brought in, I'm doing a little bit too much lead up on these. I'll cut it down. Was Shane Baz. Another wish lister. Boom. And comes in 55, 55, 50. I wish there was a way, and maybe they could implement this, to either figure out how to train up a pitch, and maybe you have some pitch specialists that are, or coaches have some pitch specialties or something that they can teach, or maybe it could be a feature of a card. For example, like Adam Wainwright can teach curveballs and add a grade and a half to 2 grades, so 15 to 20 points to a curveball if he works with somebody, and then you set it up to where they work together. But then maybe also the personalities have to play well too. So if it's some outspoken dickhead and he clashes with Waino, maybe you run the risk of actually lessening the curveball because they didn't go well together. So there would be some risk, but the upside would be, and I'm talking curveball because I thought of Waino and his elite curveball. But in this case, I would want to change up, maybe it's something like you bring in Kevin Gausman and he teaches the splitter to Boz. So you dump the changeup and you get that, because I don't want him to throw that pitch, right? He's got 3 pitches without it. I don't ever really want him to throw that. I wish there was also a way, maybe in the game strategy, to dial pitch usages a little bit and to maybe get rid of a pitch. Again, maybe have some sort of mechanic where there's a push-pull where it's not just easy to get rid of it, because that would probably be too easy to just be like, oh, just take it off. Even though they can do that in real life, they can just stop throwing a pitch. But something in there where maybe we can get rid of some of these shit pitches from guys, especially in this situation. But let's say he only had the sinker, slider, and the changeup. Say I wanted to get rid of the changeup and just move him to the bullpen, though. That'd be cool, too. Anyway, enough mumbo-jumbo there. I don't know why I said mumbo-jumbo. I'm literally 100 years old, dude. Like, I literally said mumbo-jumbo on purpose. I'm beyond boomer. I'm decrepit. Anyway, 30 starts last year, 357 ERA, 135 whip, running a little hot for sure, with the walk rate up, strikeout rate down. This was a little bit of a buy low, though. And they offered him up, and I was like, wow, I think he's too good to be available here. They do have him listed as borderline starter, probably because this pitch sucks and this one isn't great. And we can adjust to that if for some reason he doesn't work out. We're probably going to have him on the 2 times through the 18 batters faced, but we'll deal with that as the season gets going. So, what did we trade for him? Well, oh yeah, it was a duo. It was Devers and Bender. When I said duo earlier, and I was like, was it just Devers? But anyway, it was not. It was Devers and Bender, and it brought up Boz in the shop as well as 2 other guys. Now, I'm not going to name both of them yet because we got the other one, but the one that we did not get was JT Ginn, and I want to go to him real quick before I come back to this, just to show you and you can compare to Boz, and then you can say in the comments who you would have preferred. Because I kind of agonized over it. I will tell you what eventually changed my mind. JT again, let's go pitching, and then let's pick Boz here. I was confused there because I saw Henry, and I thought that said Boz as well, but it was Baez. I'm a doofus. So, he's better on the stuff, movement, and control. And that's why I was like leaning toward Ginn. And to be honest, I overlooked something at the time that I was like, why is nobody voting for Ginn or talking him up or anything? Until we started, because I did a little thing where it's like, vote with the logo of the player who you want. And Boz was getting everyone was clicking the Rays logo. And I was like, nobody's saying anything about Ginn. Then people started to chatter, and then they pointed out the thing that I had missed initially. 40 Stammy. Now, I just assumed, and you know what happens when you assume, but I assumed because in the shop that I had, it was, the first one I did was SPs, and he was listed in it. So he's RP here now, but he was listed under the SP, so I didn't think twice about it. Then I did an open shop where it was all players, and the other guy came up, a non-pitcher. So just wanted to be clear about how I saw him under SP originally, and I was like, why is nobody talking him up? 40 Stammy. And that immediately took me off, because I'm like, I'm not putting out a 40 stamina there when Boz has, 15 points more. So that made the decision there. But we did give up Devers, and that was a little tough. I like Devers, and he was really good last year. 110 WRC plus with solid enough defense, gave us 2.3 WAR. But listen, the bat just doesn't really add anything, so it puts a lot of burden on his defense to basically be great. And if he's not delivering strong defense, then what are we really getting? And to be honest, it really didn't pop off that much last year. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't game-changing. So he became expendable. And that's the deal we landed on. Bender, I mean, come on, upper 20s. He's 29 years old. Reliever, if you're a good enough if you're a good organization, you're churning that player type out consistently. Like, he's good. He's good. And he's coming off a little bit of a down year, but he's good. But, like, as the arbitration goes up, and it's 1-4 this year, it's not terrible. But I just thought we can spend the money better. We can cultivate a guy like him. As much as I like Bender, did we really need to keep him? And when I saw Boz, I thought that was a really great pick to be able to get him. Sorry, I'm clicking all over the map here real quick. Let me show you Joe Mack, who we also gave up. 35 catcher ability. Even though he's got good personality traits, he never played in this organization with that. We also got Willie Vasquez, the 79th ranked prospect, which was huge. I was like, we can get a top 100 prospect in this deal as well. Okay. And then we also got Rodney Green, who's a little bit more of organizational depth. 21-year-old, decent enough personality class with the adaptability, the work ethic, and intelligence. He is greedy. Who cares? He's not a huge leader, not particularly loyal. I don't give a shit about that. That doesn't really bother me. Now, the other guy who was listed there that we were talking about possibly getting ended up being available in another deal pretty easily. And that was Patrick Bailey, catcher for the Giants. So 60 ability. That's the baseline to get in the door right now on the Marlins. For a starter, you got to be a 65 or a 60, excuse me. 65, 70 would obviously be amazing, but 60 will get you there, especially if you're bringing something with the bat. Generally, I take a 60 with a shit bat. So the fact that I can get a 60 with a quality bat, I'm in. He had a nice year last year, a nice little half season the year before. So he adds to the bottom line. 2.6 WAR with Patrick Bailey. I was really impressed with that. Great personality class with the fan fave, the high work ethic and adaptability, as well as low greed. I'm in. And we now have 2 switch hitting catchers with he and Jonah Heim. So what do we have to give? A little bit of a platter I don't even want to say poo-poo platter. It's not terrible, but it didn't really bother me that much to give. And you can see we also got Hunter Bishop and $7 million, which I was kind of surprised by. But here's Hunter Bishop, big power guy, strikes out way too much, but even has, the high intelligence, high loyalty, but high greed too. That's fine. He's like, I'll be loyal if you just pay me. He's coming off a shit season at AAA. Whatever. I mean, that's where he's going to be. He's not a major component right now. He was just something to get thrown in. Maybe I could have gotten more money if I didn't include Bishop, but I was fine to do that. So the main piece that they really seemed to be giddy over was Oswald Peraza. And this is not new. People have been on this Peraza train for pretty much this entire game cycle 23. So the other sim I've done, I actually had Peraza on the Dillos, the one I ported over from 22, and for some reason he just has trade value. Teams love him. I mean, I got him at first base right now. I got him on the wrong side of the defensive spectrum. Now, admittedly, he can play some middle infield. Is it raining? Ooh, it sure is. Okay, well, hopefully this doesn't, the power doesn't go out. I mean, I could fix it if it did and splice two videos together, but I hope not, because I've spent a long time doing this off season, getting everything meticulously planned before I did this video, and then to have spent all that time, and then if the power goes out, I'll be upset. But anyway, teams like him, they can have him. He's fine. Like, I'm not even shitting on him. I just think he's fine. So Oswald Peraza was kind of the main piece for them. They were really giddy about him. They also really liked Jose Salas, which I get. He's not bad. Infield, outfield, decent enough bat, but it's kind of stock. You can find this guy. You can find this guy kind of mid-rounds in the draft even. Or not necessarily mid-rounds, but like, 3rd through 7th round type. You can find a guy like this. And we'll be able to do that because we got picks, y'all. And then Lewis Head, again, another older reliever who I'm like, he's good. And he was solid last year, but like, what do we need to drop $1 million on him for? We need to be paying league minimum to guys like this, and we've got guys in that realm. Now, we do have some relievers that we're paying. I don't want to pretend that we're not paying it. I mean, we're paying Sears and King, but they're also on another level. So anyway, 34 years old, easy to trade Lewis Head. And then Jake Strand was just, live arm throw-in type. Like I said, we got that $7 million as well. All right, next up, this next one was just a money dump, and we just didn't need these pieces anymore, so I moved them, and I got some cashish, and I don't know what else I got. Jose Miranda, he gone. Honestly, I wanted more from him, and I think I got a little enamored with Miranda from another sim that I'm watching, like somebody else's sim, where he was like 70 contact and 80 avoid Ks, and I was like, I want that. I want him to pan out like that for us, and it just wasn't there. Now, he was a plus bat for us last year, credit where it's due, but first base, and didn't really move the needle, doesn't have pop, didn't really need him. So we moved him with the aforementioned Eliezer Alfonso, who's now up to a 90 avoid K, but down to a 50 defense, which I think is down, right? Oh, no, I guess he's been in the 50, 45. I guess I was making an exception with him then, because like I said, I usually say 60 is the entry point. I would have thought he had at least 55, and then I could finagle with the defense, or with the quality bat. But anyway, so yeah, I moved him and Wes Kath for Antonio Caballo. It's Caballo, right? I don't think it's Cabello. I think it's the I don't know. I might be wrong on that. And then $2 million. So I was basically selling these guys, selling some extra players. Wes Kath is okay, but I hate the bad contact avoid K profile. I know Badou has it, but he adds quality defense in center or left and speed. So meanwhile, Wes Kath, what does he really bring? Modest pop and mediocre defense at third. Come on. So we got our 2 milli, and we got our Antonio Cabello, and he's a captain, and he plays decent defense with some speed. Bat isn't really much to speak of. Classic 4th, 5th outfielder type. Bingo, bango, bongo. Now, when was that? What was the date of that one? because that was all kind of like one session. Oh yeah, so we're still in November at this point. Then we start to push forward. We get to the free agents. We want to see what's going on with them. Now let's get into some stuff that didn't happen. Because, oh, actually one other thing. Ginn, who I mentioned earlier, was also available in the JJ Quan deal when I shopped. Not just in the Devers deal. But then a couple other guys were too that I just want to point out, since I took the notes. I just want to show you guys that we could have also gotten Scooball, who I might have considered, but this is dangerous with the 35 movement and the extreme fly ball. I know our park would help him, but 2.0 Homer 9 is terrifying. And he's fragile. So I didn't play Homer there. I didn't want to just get the Tiger because it's the Tiger, even though he's not on there anymore. And then this other guy, Johan Oviedo was the other one, who's not too bad. Extreme ground ball, 45 controls a little dicey, but I liked him a bit. So I kind of ranked it Sears, Ginn, Oviedo, Scooball. And then when we were able to get Sears and King, I was like, are you kidding me? That was slam dunk city. So anyway, just wanted to show you that. Now, I mentioned free agency and how we got going with that. I had a primary target. I was laser focused. What's been kind of a through line about this ball club? Well, there's been a couple. Offense has been a problem, but even more than that, to be honest, the defense. And so I wanted to address the defense at the most important defensive position. I was targeting a big boy shortstop, and there were a few out there. I wanted the biggest of them all. I wanted Tim Anderson. TA7. Now you can see he's on the Red Sox. Went from white to red. And, I mean, I tried. Here was the thing. I didn't really want to put out a, 5-6 year deal. Because he was just living on that sort of level. He's like, I got to have a fat deal. I get it. He's 31. This is his last big bite at the apple. Like, I get it from his standpoint. But I didn't want to do that. So I was really trying to work with 4. And really 3 in a team option. And I like to do it my front load where I go ham early. Did Christian Yelich just go yard? To the track. Where I front load it up. That way it's coming down in price, especially since we had an infusion of money. I even got as high as 35 mil for that first year and working down from there. And that would have been it, by the way. That would have been it for the offseason, essentially, outside of trades. But it would have been what at the time, oh, wait, okay, this is our scout. Yeah, 65. And actually before he got to very high, it was 70 double play. So I'm like, I'm thinking, oh, no, it wasn't. I'm looking at the screenshot I put in the Discord. Oh, it was 75 contact at the time. And then when we got to full scouting, it's up to 80. Anything else change besides that? No. That was the only thing that changed, was that his contact actually went up when Greenwell got the full dossier on him. So, lots to like here. But coming off of back-to-back mediocre seasons with the bat, just above average. Not, a little bit better than mediocre, but you want a little bit more juice. But I'm looking at 5, 4, and 4 wins. We round up. We'll call it 4 wins for 2024. And that defense is strong enough to where I'm like, yo, I am definitely interested here. Oh my goodness. Pardon me, y'all. I hate to do something about, have a real life thing impact me, but I just got, so my boy Justin Mason is having a big DFS night. And the last thing that he kind of texted to our group before I started this video was that he needed Mitch Garver to do something that would really help him. He was already cashing, but he needed Mitch Garver to do something big to really have a nice night. And Mitch Garver hit a late homer. That's so crazy. He's getting everything. So he has Sonny Gray, George Kirby, Mitch Garver, Yuli Gurriel, Trevor Story, who went yard again, Miranda, Trey Turner, who went yard, Mookie Betts, who went yard twice, Kyle Tucker, and Yordan Alvarez. And he entered with $101 worth of entries, and he's set to win about 22 hundo. So that's amazing. Anyway, sorry for that interlude. I just saw Garver in all caps on my notifications, and it caught my attention. So I know that's rude to get on my phone in the middle of a video, but hyping up my boy, that's really, really sick. Anyway, so I really wanted to make this work, y'all, and I was ready to do it, but nothing was working. Even with the 35 mil up front. So I was like, all right. And he never really walked away pissed off, but he was starting to get the happy face was starting to go to straight face. And then the next one probably would have been sad. And I was just like, fine, man, it's just not going to work. Well, look at what this MFer signed for. What, dude? I would have done this. Like, I mean, I don't know. Player option, it's 4 years. He's 31. I say I would have done this. I don't know. I would have maybe done it. Although this is kind of what my deal was looking like. Maybe the player options was key to him, and I had team option. Because I was probably around 90. I think I was 35. 35 was the front one, was the first one. Then like 28, 22. So that's 385 on the guarantee. And then I added, so it was 4. Well, how's that? If it's team option, it's 3 and 85 guaranteed with a team option, which I did make pretty high. I made the team option for 40, knowing that I would like never do it, but gave him a 5 mil buyout. So it was 90 guaranteed, but he didn't want to do it. So fine. I was kind of miffed. I thought we were going to, once we got that owner change too, I was like, oh, we're actually going to be able to get a beast shortstop. Didn't work. So then I turned my attention to Willie Adames a bit. And he still hasn't signed. Wow. And I thought, he could be the one. I got a little bit of cold feet, mostly on the avoid K, and just I know how badly that can go. And he's 29, and and then he didn't want to continue negotiating. I pissed him off. I did piss off because I was really trying to work that deal. But he's Iron Man as well, and I thought we could get him. I mean, he's played 3 straight whole seasons, 154, 153, 153. I mean, that's basically the whole season. Few guys play 162 anymore. And his bat's been improving. So he put up 3 and 5 wins. But I was really looking for more game-changing range. And I guess he's only 5 points. Yeah, he's literally 5 points less than Anderson. So it would have been fine. But it didn't work with him because he was getting all angry. So then I thought one other guy, and I was like, well, I could do this with Javier Baez. But when I did the scout, the full scout, which would be this one. Oh, it doesn't show it. So the defense is still a 60, but factors within the defense changed, and that kind of bothered me. I mean, just a little, but it went from 70 to 65 on the range and on the double play. Now that's nitpicky for sure. And he wasn't even asking for isn't asking for crazy money. He's still available. It's June 28th. It's not drop dead date, but like, you can sign, my man. Like, this is not terrible. In fact, his asking price has gone up weirdly enough. It was cheaper earlier. But I was obviously never going to do this. I was going to consider 3 years. I played around with it. It didn't really work. And then I decided, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this profile. We can kind of fake this profile somewhere in-house. So those are the deals that didn't happen with the shortstops. It was a focus. I really wanted to get something done. So I did land on something. It's not game changing. Okay, let me level set the expectations. This is not going to be knocking anybody's socks off. Your socks will stay firmly on your feet. But we did indeed land Orlando Arcia at a pretty fair price, and he does have 60s. pretty much across the board except the 65 arm. So he doesn't have the 65 plus that I was kind of hoping for, but he's got a decent enough bat. His bad contact is offset by a good avoid Ks, and then he's pretty average. We're hoping to get like a 90 to 94 WRC plus. Somewhere in that range would be great. With strong defense, I can deal with that. He's a spark plug. He's got the good defense, and if something comes up at short that really pops off, we can move him to second or third. And we have him for just the 1 year. I just did the 1 year, $8 million. I wasn't going to commit long, and we'll see what comes out next year, but we got something. And it is better than Otto Lopez. Because Otto Lopez is just a 55. His bat is a little bit better. Let's just do the comp. So yeah, he gives back the contact. Like the bat profile, I'll give it to Lopez. That's fine. I'm not even going to stress over that comparison. But the defense, I will take the extra 5 in range. Like and the 5 in double play. Like it's not massive, but it means enough to me to prioritize it. Sorry, my girlfriend just texted or called me, and it's like late at night. Usually she's asleep. She's actually taking care of a friend. Who had a surgery, but for her to call me that late, I was like, are you okay? So again, double phone usage, my apologies, but I feel better explaining both of them, and hopefully you guys understand that I'm not just being like, oh, I got nothing going on here, let me just text, let me just play some freaking, I couldn't think of a game. I almost said what's that one game, the freaking that little platformer with the guy with the little fucking beak thing. Dude, it's an old game, and I almost said that game. And I can't even think of it. Just ignore me, guys. Just ignore me. Even though you're watching a video that focuses entirely on me, just ignore me. So anyway, Lopez out, Arcia in. Feel pretty good about that. Now, let's get into some more deals that we did. Some more trades. Another wish list guy coming in. Again, surprisingly. Now, I'm going to tell you about something on this one. This trade here, Garrett Whitlock coming in. Extreme ground ball. Big time reliever. You know, not going to be stretched out as a starter like he is in real life with 30 Stammy. But 55, 70, 55. Coming off a brilliant season. I don't know why he spent 15 2/3 in AAA. What the fuck was Boston doing? But he was amazing. And we're hoping for that kind of amazingness this year. What was traded there? A little trio, and we also got $4 million, by the way. I was trying to get money where I could, even though we got some money from our guy. I'm like, just once you get money, you just get greedy for it. I'm like, gimme. So I was surprised that this trio netted so much, y'all. I was floored. In fact, one of the deals they offered, I felt dirty possibly doing, so I didn't do it. So it's Peyton Henry, 55 ability. Catcher, like some pop, but that's it. Like not prototypical backup catcher. And then Jackson Rose, fringe swingman, 28 years old. Gave us some decent innings last year, literally 13 innings, like nothing crazy, but was great in the minors, right there at the ready in AAA, doing his thing. He did the same thing the year before with a good season in AAA. So he's like that great 27th, 28th guy that you call up consistently. You can get a spot start out of him. You can get some bullpen innings, whatever, but nothing like special. No offense, Jackson. And then Wencio Perez, who, again, I think the computer just really, really valued. But he's 25, and, I mean, the personality class is strong, and he does play up the middle, but, like, he's not that great, and the plate profile is not. The bat isn't that great. The plate profile actually is pretty decent with the avoid K and then the average I, but then the power's nothing, the contact and gap power are nothing. So I was surprised, but he moved the needle, crazily enough. In fact, it was him and Peyton who I shopped, and then Jackson got added to the deal basically for the $4 million because Whitlock was in the shop. Now somebody else was in the shop that I was like, this feels cheap if I do this. So I didn't do it. The Dodgers offered up Julio Urias for that same package. Well, for Henry and Wenceel. And I was just like, the fuck am I missing here? Now, a few things stand out. 32 innings, fragile, because he was hurt. So it's an injury sell. And that immediately put my antenna up. And I get it. Like, when guys get broken on this game, they can be broke. And he missed a ton of time. He had a partially torn labrum that cost him 3 months in late April. Came back and then got immediately hurt. Or not, I don't know if it was immediately or not. What was his game log here? Did he only pitch in the minors? No, he pitched 32 innings in the majors. Why can I not see? It's just showing these PCI. It doesn't matter. Let's be honest. Who cares? Oh, because it's 2025. But what? Okay, that's weird. Sorry, I'm getting derailed. But also the fact that he's down to a 45 stamina, probably also related to the health. So that started to make a little bit more sense. And then he's making 22 mil. So I still felt like it was a little too much. And I also didn't want to pay the money too. I wasn't just being magnanimous. I think I use that word properly. Sometimes I like to try to flex a little $2 word. And then I'm like, but if you use it wrong, then you're a real douche. You know, you can be a douche if you use it right and you just sound douchey. So it's like a douche situation, because you douchily use it and you're right, and then everyone's like, okay, cool, you know that word, or you confidently use it wrong and you just sound like a fucking moron. So it's a douche proposition. Anyway, that's that's the Garrett Whitlock deal, and. Now that I'm looking at it, by the way, I'm really going to take zero credit for passing on Urias. That was kind of an easy pass. Now that I'm seeing 66 mil, fragile, and stamina down, like, I didn't do anybody any favors. I only did ourselves a favor with that. It just stunned me when I saw him. I guess I was just jarred by it. And I was like, yo, that's whack. All right, then did the Whitlock deal. Next up, we got, not Casey, type of K again, Paul. We got Asa Lacy. And this one is an interesting buy. Okay, he's cheap. He's still on min. 25-year-old lefty, can start, but does have 45 control, but 60 stuff, 55 movement. Coming off a down year for sure. But I thought it was a decent upside buy. And it cost us Otto Lopez, basically. But we also got a second-round pick. So I started shopping Lopez once we got Arcia signed, because I was like, okay, well, we don't need Lopez as much anymore. And I'd like to strengthen up the offense a little bit. So that's why Lopez is gone. And by the way, I just randomly showed him earlier without even acknowledging that he was gone, because I knew it was coming down the line. So yeah, Lacy... Lopez and Jones were the shop, and Lacy came up, and then I added the second round pick, and all they wanted in addition to that was Brandon White. So I was like, okay. Holt Jones, again, you're noticing a theme here. Decent enough reliever, but I'm believing in the team that we need to be cultivating those anyway, and he's still cheap, so I didn't have to trade him. It just, I thought an opportunity came up to better ourselves. And basically, if you just look at Holt versus Lacy, I'll take that all day. And then it's almost like Lopez and White for a second-round pick, which I would do that too. I mean, Lopez is probably better than a second-round pick, so you know, I don't think you can separate the deal like that. Actually, I'm gonna backpedal on saying that. Like, Lopez is pretty good, especially if you're not using him at short. I mean, he's coming off a 3-win season, so I definitely gave something there, but I felt pretty good about this one. So we got Asa Lacy, and I feel good about that. Then I decided to try something, because one of the big things coming up this year is that our budget is up. I will show that. That was announced to us on 1/21. So I did like this. And we knew he was going to give us money, but then he gave us these budget announcements here. Scouting budget up, player dev up, draft budget up, international it's down $5,000. Really? This just feels petty, but okay, everything else is up, so that's good. With that in mind, with that infusion of cash, I thought because this man is a free agent after this year, we should try to get another year out of Kyle Tucker. So I signed him to another year, $30 million. He's at 23 this year, so it's $7 million raise. And then we'll kind of figure it out from there because, you know, I was looking at an extension, like a substantial one, and he wanted a big dog deal, y'all, which of course he did because he's 28 and, you know, he's like, give me a 10-year. And I'm just like, I don't think we do that. I don't think we do that here. I don't even know if we do that for Tucker. So we need to start talking about it. It's still in the future. He's coming off a hot 40-105 season with 303 average, with a 303 average, and he's been amazing with our club. So maybe we consider. I'd like to do something in like the 4 with a team option, or even 4 with a player option. I'd be open to. But I am not doing some 8, 9, 10-year deal. I'm not really doing over 5. I could commit to 5, like do 5 no option at the max, but it's gonna be a lot, y'all. So it was like the second year was already like 40 mil. Like, is that worth it? Is that doable even? That's the thing that I don't necessarily get. So then we had a deal that was out. An offer that was out that came to fruition that I'm excited about to stabilize our outfield, and we got Manny Margot. Nice high-end 4th outfielder. Let me be clear. Not every team got a 4th outfielder like this. And I know he's coming off a junk year. In fact, he split time. He played in 2 AAAs and 2 Major League teams. He went from Tampa Bay to Texas back in 2023. He meandered around with Texas. Like, what the hell happened? Did he get hurt at all last year? Oh, yeah, he sure did. 13 months broken kneecap that lingered into this year and then got 5 weeks pretty much right when he got back. He's still under normal health, though. So this was last year was a lost year for Margot. He still looks excellent. Premium defense. Great speed, enough of a bat. He starts as Badou's platoon partner against lefties, 100%. So they're going to run a straight platoon, but then he mixes in elsewhere. So we got a 10-year, we got 10 mil and then 6 mil, 2-year deal. So I felt pretty good about that. Then we traded for Mick Abel. Is that like television that McDonald's runs? Mick Abel? That's so stupid. We traded... Oh, this one was a big one. So basically we kind of like bought a prospect. And we did kind of quantity over quality. We're consolidating. Our farm system sucks shit. So we ended up giving up 4 guys. Toughest one was Mitch. Mitch is basically a wish lister if he wouldn't have been on our team. I love Mitch White in real life. But I had to separate from the fandom and acknowledge he's 30. He's already regressing a bit. Dog shit movement. It's time to go. Price starting to move up a little bit too. 1.3 is not expensive, but it's moving up. So it was Mitch White, Jordan Holloway, who, man, thank you for your service last year. You were amazing. And I got to be honest, as silly as this is, I mean, no, I don't even know if it's silly, but thinking about how good he was last year and somewhat unexpectedly, it made it tougher to get rid of him. It really did. I was like, damn, Jordan Holloway really came through for us last year. Do I really want to move him? And I was like, wait a minute. You got to be thinking forward, not backward. And 40 control is not very good. He's a swing man. He's 28. He can be moved. And then Yasel Antuna. There is no tilde, so I don't know if it's Antuna or not. Solid enough middle infield backup type. shit defense, but decent enough bat. I just didn't think we were missing too much. And the computer, like the computer really favors him. Like he came up in a lot of deals to make this work. So a lot of teams were like, no, we like Antuna. We'll take him. So I was like, okay, cool. You can have him. And then Edgar Sanchez was the last of the group, just to throw in to get it done. And that was because originally they were offering somebody a good bit less. And I was like, no, let me get a top 100 prospect. And that's how we got Mick Abel. So, he's only 76, but for a team that has like no freaking prospects, we'll take it. We'll take it. And he's like a fringe starter type here. And just get the old water. But yeah, he's like a fringe starter, swingman type. He can start in the minors. We'll see if he ends up starting in the majors, but he's a power arm. He can pitch out of the bullpen if things don't work out starting. His stuff will go up to a potentially 65. So he'll be a beast either way. 23 years old and an actual prospect. Yay us. So then I did this deal. We're almost done, I promise. We got Juan Esparza. Now, he was not the primary deal. This other guy was. Fernando Romero. We got Fernando Romero, a second-round pick, and Juan Esparza for Chris Wall and Nasim Nunez. Now, this was another one that when I shopped Wall and Nunez, there were some interesting players there that I was just like, maybe I can get one of these dudes and then flip that dude for something better. Like kind of, like I said in a previous video. Excuse me. I knew I'd get the hiccups after drinking that water. Like red paper clip it up a little bit and try to like flip. So that was kind of the thinking here. One of the guys who was available on the Wall Nunez shop, believe it or not, was Jazz. And I was like, okay, that feels cheesy to get Jazz and then just re-deal him. So I didn't want to do that. Even though, it was offered, but no, I didn't want to do that. So I took the Fernando Romero deal with Esparza, who is pretty good. Now, he's light years away, but decent enough personality. No real defense to speak of, but the bat looks like it could be hot. Again, light years away right now. So I'm not tripping. 18 years old. But I liked him. Fernando Romero, a little pricey at 5.2 mil. Good stuff, though. Solid reliever coming off 77 games, which was an MLB high, or at least a National League high. Decent enough season. But I was like, maybe I can flip him. Well, flipping him proved difficult, to be honest. And so my little red paperclip idea hit a little detour. And this would be a great example of what I'm talking about earlier. Just never throw that changeup. You're a reliever. You never have to throw it. Just throw these two pitches and be God tier. So I ran into a little bit of trouble, and I was like, oh, this flip is not as easy as I thought. It was probably due to his money. I think they were just dumping the money. And so I eventually just ended up, they put both on the same line. I guess because it was the same day. So I just put him and Colton Hawk with 10th and 12th rounders for Kevin Basil. Like, it was just to get rid of him, and it didn't really work. So I made a little blunder there at the end. Got a little too close to the sun with all my moves. Got a little bit of a greedy gust there. I was just trying to consolidate. I mean, I don't necessarily regret the move. It wasn't a move just to do a move. Let me be clear on that. I did it because we had to clear up some 40-man space too, with both Nasim Nunez and Wall on it. And only Romero had to come back. So, and then Colton Hawk was on it as well. So we moved 3 for 1 as far as the 40 goes, and got Esparza, a legit looking prospect. Oh, fuck, I hit the back button again, my bad. And then Basil, who is not a huge prospect, but 21 years old. He's not finished. Like, there could be a little something there. We'll see how it goes this year. and then also that second round pick. So there it is, y'all. Those are all the moves. It was a hell of an offseason. So what does it net in the end? First things first, we're not much better here. There's no grand unveil. We're moderately better. We had one last year. It was Dominguez. He graduated. We now have two. But I think, and I haven't checked this will actually be a reveal with y'all. I want to say our second 100 prospects have got to be deeper now. Only two? Damn, I thought some of these other guys would be in the second 100. Well, our system still blows. So what are you going to do? I'm not too worried about that right now. I want to continue to improve it, and I will. But it is what it is, you know? At this point, rookie draft. Draft log. This is last year's. How do I see? I want to see what my pick stack looks like right now. So let's just go into trade player just so I can see. So we have a first, 3 seconds, a third, our third through seventh, 2 8s, 3 9s, no 10 or 12. But who cares? I mean, we got all these extra picks out front. We could honestly trade 15 and on, and it would be fine. But this is going to help us with our depth. Hopefully, it's a robust draft. I don't know what it looks like this year. I didn't stock up picks in this draft for any particular reason, just because it made sense. Now, here's what the team's looking like. It's obviously going to get all jumbled up when spring training hits and they bring a bunch of guys up, and then we're going to have to figure out the 40-man situation with them. But as it stands right now, we'll have Patrick Bailey at catcher, Jonah Heim backing him up. Edward, actually, I don't know if you say it that way. With the O there's throwing me off. Edward? Do you pronounce the O, or is it just Edward? And it's not that particular. But anyway, we got him last year, if you might recall, for Edinson Suriel and Brady Allen, along with the 19th pick and some cash. And he's a decent enough hitter. Now, he strikes out a ton. It's going to be a lot of swing and miss, but there's some punch there. And he's not going to be locked in first base, can't be touched. If he doesn't get going with the bat and show some of that 2024 flavor from when he was with Minnesota and with their AAA team, instead of the 89 that he had with us, then we'll move on. But it's first base. That's eminently replaceable. And we still have Jordan Diaz, who, played pretty well in his showing, and he's going to get in a decent bit. He's playing every fourth game, and they're in a set platoon with Jordan Diaz against lefties and Julian against righties. And you can see they each have slight advantages against the other side there that make them a good platoon. Second base will be Tyler Freeman, coming back off a quality year last year. 116 WRC plus. No homers. I mean, he has no pop. But he doesn't strike out. And he's fast enough to really get a good BABIP too. And he's a captain, so that helps. I think at the very least, ideally we will soon have a stronger second baseman. And then move Tyler Freeman, into a utility role. Speaking of our utility role, let me just preview that real quick before we continue to go by position. Ezequiel Tovar is who I was referring to earlier when I said, why get Baez when we already have this in-house? Now, some of y'all might think that I'm overstating it, but I don't know. I don't think he's drastically different than Baez for a 15th of the price. That's the thing, is he's so much cheaper that the defense is brilliant, and the bat is there's a little something there. It's not going to be eye-popping, and he's also the backup. He's also the utility man. Brian Rocchio, you want to talk about somebody who the computer freaking loves, dude. And it made me suspicious and not want to trade him, to be honest. He could be the linchpin. He could have been the linchpin piece on so many deals that I was like, damn. Now, I would have been getting good stuff, but it always felt like, why is it all these 60s and then Rocchio? So the computer clearly likes him more than our scout. And you can see here OSA has him as a 55 potential. So maybe with the work ethic and intelligence, he's only 24. He just turned 24. Maybe he can work up into the into this level that OSA sees. But I like him, and so he's going to be starting at third for us. I do wish we had a little bit better defense there, but at least we improved the shortstop defense. That was first and foremost, and we did that with Arcia. So it's still not exactly where I want, y'all. I wanted a 70 range, but they just weren't available, y'all. It just wasn't available, and like you should have seen some of the trades for like Nick Ahmed, and I wasn't doing that. So I like what we did here. We made some improvements to the defense, and I think we're in a better spot there. Now finishing up against righties in the outfield, it'll be Akil Badou in left. It'll be Jason Dominguez in center. He's healthy, but he is fragile already at age 21. That is not good. I mean, he's had 2 devastating injuries just in this sim, so I get it, but that part does suck. I think this is new, by the way. I don't think he was fragile when I got him. But another big injury will do it. And then Kyle Tucker, of course, in right. He's down from an 80, y'all. Trash. I pay him and he freaking falls... No, I'm kidding. And he freaking falls apart. And then Alec Burleson, reigning Rookie of the Year at DH. Looking nice. Did he go up? He sure did, baby. His eye went up a little bit. We like it. I think that's it. But he went up 5 points on the potential. Well, actually, he got it back. I think he was there. Yeah, you can see he was there. But he was down, so he did go back up. That's the important thing. And then, yeah, I covered it. Heim, Diaz, Tovar, Margot are our backups. We can get him off the free agent targets list. He was one of our targets because of his strong defense, so we got him. Now, looking at the lineup here, this does not make sense to go 4 lefties, 2 righties, and 3 switch hitters. They're just like, let's put each handedness in order. How about no? Let's not do that. Let's actually go Dominguez, Tucker. Our lineup is still light, y'all. That is undeniable. But that was not the focus this offseason. The focus was to improve the defense. I think I did that. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And I'm eager to see where we go from here. We do still have like 8 trillion lefties. I think I'm going to put Rocchio third. It's going to go switch left, switch, double left, right, switch. So we only have 2 lefties, and it is 3 out of 4 there, but that's kind of inevitable. Like, I don't know that there's any way we can really get around it. I like that. Plus, I don't know why I'm making this right now anyway, because it's January 28th, just to give you all a look at it. And then, I'm not going to do it against lefties because I'll make that same mistake again. Here's what the pitching looks like. Alcantara, Rogers, Sixto, Shane Baz, and Asa Lacy. Rogers is coming back in the rotation, but it'll be a shorter leash this year than it was last year. I'm not even going to get him to 10 starts again if he's pitching the way he did last year in the rotation. Like, he was dreadful. And we waited 10 starts and eventually moved him. What's he unhappy about? Yeah, your performance. That's what I thought. But if not, we'll put him right back in the bullpen again and let him excel there, and then move probably Max Meyer. Max Meyer would get moved in. And I'm still debating a little bit on Max Meyer versus Asa Lacy. In fact, with the spring training on the horizon, Max Meyer will be in the rotation as well. And we'll see how that goes. So that's where we're at with everything. Big off-season rundown. I figured it's its own episode here. So we'll go ahead and stop on this. I'll upload the off-season. I'm actually going to do a dual recording again because I'm going to jump right back in finish the rest of the offseason, do spring training, and start the 2025 season. I'm really excited, y'all. Let me know what you think. Be honest. You don't have to protect my feelings. If you don't like some of the moves, you can definitely say so. My feelings will not be hurt. But I like a lot of what we did. I also did a lot of personnel moves that were smaller. They were mostly at the lower levels. Actually, as I'm saying that, I'm thinking I think all the coaches or all the managers were at the lower level. Obviously, we moved to Bautista in season last year. Maybe Ramon Benjamin's new. No, he was here last year. Okay. And then Joey DeMonte was here last year as well. So those guys are on their second year. Chip Hale is new. Okay. We did get him. And then is Eduardo Nunez as well? Yes. Okay. So our base coaches are new. Greenwell, of course, is new as well. And then some coaches down here that I'm not going to go over all of those. But I tried to get the best ones that I could. I tried to focus on relationships. Now, he just had too good of skills. And when I was actually doing the hiring, it would show the relationships for the team that he's coaching. So I don't actually care. Oh, yeah, here, let's do this. Let's do the team that he's actually working for. See, he only had one poor relationship. So I felt pretty good about that with his hire there. And then Stahoviak isn't new. Again, I'm not going to get into all of it. But thank y'all so much for watching. Give me your review of the offseason. Let me know if you'd have done anything drastically different. If you would have paid Tim Anderson the big money or spread it out the way we did and we ended up adding a lot more. Here's what our salary situation looks like, by the way. We are now up over 100 mil at about 107 here. Oh, we still had to keep a little bit of the Fernando Romero money too to get that deal done, which, hey, I take the hit on that. You know, I goofed and gaffed on that one by thinking I could flip it into something better. I don't even know if I didn't necessarily get worse, but I probably was just status quo, and then we end up paying $1 million of that too. But I like where the squad's at, y'all. I'm pretty excited about it. I do see here that our fourth highest paid player is Manuel Margot, and I am wondering if maybe he should play more then, but he's going to play against lefties. He'll be our primary bat off the bench. I think it'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. All right. 10th time I'm saying goodbye. Thank y'all so much for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Appreciate all the support on this. I've been having such a good time with the Marlins. 2025 starts next episode. Thank you.